Yeah, man.
Yeah, just natural, easy breezy, all that fun
Sounds
shit.
good.
And
Sounds good.
cheers! I got a little bit of Kentucky purified mountain water.
Right.
So let's see. This is I've had it for about a week now, so I'm just kind of been debating on whether or not I should really just dive into it. So let's see.
Just lean in, man. I mean,
Ooh.
yeah, boy. The burn's going down. Burn's coming up.
It does. Oh. So, uh, welcome everyone. This is my good friend and fellow DM, Jonathan Everman. He has hosted several games which I've been incredibly fortunate to be a part of, and some of my best memories in D&D. And I would just like to welcome him to the show. He, how long have you been playing D&D, man?
Oh man. 20 years maybe.
20 years.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
So you got into it like
I get to my early 20s. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm an old man.
Don't let this fool you, man. This is all just for men right here.
Right, right. I don't even bother anymore.
Yeah. I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that point. If it wasn't for my
What's
wife, I'd look like a fucking homeless person, man. I'd just fucking let it all hang out.
Yeah, man. I mean, until I got back out, all that stuff happened. I looked like Grizzly Adams. I'd come out in like the holy shirts and
There you go.
like dance, and I'd be like, "Who's on my lawn?"
Yeah, you got to be comfortable. I'm a firm believer.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be in your castle, you got to be comfortable. So there's that. So I guess you started playing around what 3.5? Is that around there? Around 2000
Yeah,
era?
we started it. We started out with we started like the original version of Dungeons and Dragons,
Oh,
and
so
that didn't go well.
the
Uh,
hardcore shit.
yeah, it was like, oh, you're a wizard, you can't even pick up a sword.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing?
I mean,
You
that's yeah,
can't even hand
this
that
thing's
off to
fun.
somebody.
Yeah, right. Something fun. And then we went to Pathfinder, and then or 3.5, then Pathfinder.
Now, I've never tried Pathfinder, but it looks to me, just from the outside looking in, that like you have a little bit more freedom as far as like what your character can do and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Pathfinder was kind of the one that people started to actually, not just the hardcore people started playing D&D.
Yeah.
Whenever they kind of switched over from, oh man, I've got 16 hours in this week in D&D, to somebody who picks up plays on Friday night.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think that's what really got me into it. Pathfinder, buddy of mine DM for us. We was working third shifts for a company, end up being HP. Started out EDS. I don't know if you're familiar.
No, I'm not
It's in
familiar.
Winchester.
Yeah.
But we were working third shifts, so there wasn't shit to do.
Right.
I mean, we went through Magic the Gathering, Canasta, and all of the board games.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, we're just like, no, man, let's play some D&D.
Yeah.
And I think that was some of our funnest times, man. Just sitting there 12 hours a night, 3 days a week, just playing D&D.
Yeah. And it's such a great game to just kind of just let loose of everything that in life it kind of drags you down.
Right? It's always fun to be somebody else for a little while.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it gives you like a sense of creative freedom that you wouldn't normally have to
Yeah.
act in a space where everyone's in agreement to this one thing. It's like, well, I'm no longer Michael. I'm,
Right.
for instance, Reinhardt, you know?
Yeah, right. And I think that's another thing about it is it frees you up to explore different possibilities.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, you're used to being yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm me all the time.
Right.
If I could be, maybe I want to play a female character, or
Yeah.
somebody who doesn't have great morals,
Right.
or someone who has great morals. I'm neither one of those, but I land somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But
Like a chaotic neutral, you know?
yeah,
If he
I always,
dies, he dies. It's fine.
he dies. Yeah. I always find that it's fun to play something different. I never wanted to play like the meta character.
Mhm.
Just like, I'll kill everything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a min max.
Yeah. I want the guy like I want a sorcerer who doesn't know he's a sorcerer.
Yeah.
Accidentally, like when he's swinging a sword, he casts spells at people.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah, that's probably the best thing about it is whenever you can
oh
have
yeah,
that improv and just if you can realistically see someone attempting to do something with that character, it's like fuck it, roll
do
for
it.
it. Let's see. Yeah.
Well, I mean, shit. I mean, one of our last game sessions,
Oh
their
yeah.
guy was in full plate mail and somehow held himself to a roof to look at a sigil. But the dice said you could do it.
Yep, that's the thing.
You, or
The,
you launch yourself across the field.
exactly. The dice
60 feet
always
an
tell
hour. Yeah. The dice
that
tell the best stories.
always, and
Always.
that's from me doing my DM experience and everything over the past year. It seems to bring out a more enjoyable scenario versus these are the rules of D&D. This is what we do, but you get to create these really epic moments, and people actually get the chance to embellish that, and to take part in the creation of that story. And that to me alone is what makes this game so great. Is because
It's wonderful.
the rules are more of a guideline, right? It's
Exactly.
yeah,
That's what I was going to say. Guidelines.
yeah,
All about guidelines. If it sounds fun, do it.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, if it makes an interesting story, do it. Because ultimately, we're all telling the story.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here to be like, oh well, section 3, paragraph 7. You can't do that.
Exactly.
So what? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe you can't fly, but hey, you thought you could. Maybe
Right.
the dice says you can.
Yeah. It's like maybe something crazy happens. That's fun too. Sit down and it's like there's no way that this sort of scenario could have occurred in this fashion, and then
Exactly.
whenever it really boils down to it, the dice once again will tell you.
Yeah. The dice tell the story. I'm just the narrator.
Yeah, exactly. You get to
Um,
create a story, and you watch people interact within the story that you create.
yep.
And
That's
sometimes that's on the fly.
and,
A lot of
and
it's
I
on the
think
fly.
that's what I like about world building though.
Yeah, and
Is it's not for me. I mean, and if it's for everybody else, that's fine. But for me, I can't. The books and these are the guided series. It's great for people who don't really want to create something or don't want to get indulged in like this huge world
right.
of just everything that is made by you.
Hmm.
Uh, and I just find that I get more into like just players interacting with something I created.
Yeah, yeah,
Just that's the alluring part of it for
yeah.
me.
And I never realized I enjoyed to sit down and write or to research as much as I did until I actually got into this hobby. It's like, man,
Yeah,
I
man.
really enjoy this. Everything from just the general sources that you pull ideas from, whether it be Reddit or official source material or out of your own head. It just there's some really good creativity that can come out of it.
Yeah, until you created like 6 religions, 12
Yeah.
gods, and
Now
you're in the
your world building is next level, man. Like,
man. It's just shit that goes on in my head, man.
well, that's some really good, interesting shit, though. I mean, we can all sit down at a table and you encapsulate us all in this story, and it's just so it feels lived in. It feels like a living, breathing thing. And we had like a mat, and we had the grid and everything, and obviously our minis and everything. But you did such a great job describing the things that took place that just incredible. Like bravo. Like I sit down. Of course, granted, I know you've been playing for a long time and you've had a lot of experience doing this sort of thing. But for me, watching someone else do that, it's like, man, that is really something. That is great. Sit there and watch someone do that and be that creative, and that spark of imagination that happens on the fly and everything.
Yeah, I've always been a storyteller. I mean, I don't. So growing up, I probably spun more stories than most of them to get out of trouble. But
Yeah,
it's
it's a
just
good
one of those
skill to
things.
have.
Yeah, I find that a slick tongue helps get you out of many situations.
Exactly. Yeah, I was never a good liar or anything in school. It's like, did you do this? No, but
Yeah.
that other guy did.
Yeah.
You know,
He kind of looks like me, but he's not me.
right.
And I
So,
also, I tell you from my perspective as well, whenever I'm describing a scenario or a scene, and you can see your players just kind of like, it's not like they're zoning out from you, but they're living it. You can tell that they're
yeah.
imagining it. I can't
Ima-
say words tonight.
well, we get we get a pass, you know.
Right. But and it's just that that you play Friday night and then Sunday, people are still texting you about what happened Friday night,
Exactly.
talking about it to their friends,
Yep.
worrying about something that happened in a game that's not real.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, that there's no physical connection.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Like
great.
there's numerous times whenever I'm sitting down and I'm like, what's going on through his head? What's he gonna pull out next? You know, and it never ceases to amaze me. I was always just sitting there writhing in anticipation. You know.
I, to give you props though, man, your improv skills are great as well. I mean, some of our best times, man, were when me and you just riffing. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, thank
we
you.
didn't know where it was going.
Right.
We kind of just started going.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Like
and
the scene in the library. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Just
yeah.
some of those things are. That's where the best things come when people just give up the reality of where we are and
Mm-hmm.
just I am this person.
Yeah.
This is what this person would do, and this is how they would react, whether it be anger or comedy or whatever.
Right.
It's a story. And as players and a DM, you have to be able to step outside of what would make you angry or you upset. Think about how your character feels.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
you do that really well.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I it's such a fun thing to take part in, you know, and I'm a pretty passionate person. You know, if
Yes,
I find
I
if I find something I like, I'm like diving head first into the deep end filled with sharks. It's like, come on, let's go, let's see what happens. You know.
yes, man. And it's always fun. I mean, ultimately, you don't want your characters to die, and that's my job is to not let them die. But sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do.
And as a player, you have to be able to connect with that person to that
Mm-hmm.
level. You
Yeah.
know, like, well, maybe he wouldn't do this. Maybe he wouldn't. Or, he's crazy as a fucking lunatic. He's going to jump off the mountain, and try to land on his horse.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, eh, and the great thing is you get to choose, in the beginning how your character is kind of started. That
Right.
doesn't necessarily mean that's going how he's going to end.
Yeah. And backstories are important, you know, as far as like kind of giving you something to go off of, but that doesn't mean that you absolutely have to stick to those things. Like, as you yourself as a person can grow and learn new things, so can your characters as you progress through the story. And, you know, it's something, you know, for me, I tend to lean more towards the tragic, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's easy to relate because everyone's had something awful
yeah, yeah.
happen to them in their
Exactly.
life, you know, and it's like you can kind of bring that out, you know, kind of
Yep.
use your character to kind of work your way through
Through
whatever,
something. Yeah, man.
yeah, whatever kind of
I
bad
mean,
shit's going on in your head.
what I got to tell everybody, man, D&D is therapeutic
Yeah,
if you've got the right people
yeah,
around you, because D&D can also be very, very toxic.
yeah,
You have to be somebody who can understand the feelings of people you play with.
yeah. And you know,
Because
it's oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, just because you never know really what somebody's actually going through. Maybe those 2 or 3 hours on Friday night, man, is the only time they can actually say it because they're not saying it as them.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. I you know, with my characters and everything, and the people who you know come, you know, and play with me, you know, it's mostly about sitting down and having a good time, and you know, jokes all around. You know,
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
heaven
man.
forbid I give any sort of monologue without someone screaming at me. You know.
Right, right. Sorry, my daughter's slamming my door over here.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
But yeah, man, your games, man, those are big games.
Yeah, well, I haven't
Yeah,
had quite one that was between 10 and 12 people since back in March. And that one was very interesting. That was like the last big game I held, but it was part of my homebrew. And
yeah,
I threw an Ancient Black Dragon at a party of 12 level 7 characters, and they killed the bastard. I
yeah,
mean, just outright, just, with it. Granted, it was an hour and a half long fight, which is
yep.
plenty long enough for any sort of combat scenario. But there was a bunch of stuff that even with the dragon and its legendary actions and resistances, you burn through those, that dragon, you're just going to destroy it. I mean,
Oh yeah, man.
yeah,
Well, and I find that sometimes as a DM, if something that you're throwing at people is too easy, you got to add at least some HP, man.
mm-hmm,
You know, it's like, you know what, this is going too fast. We're not going to have fun killing it in 2 rounds. I'll give it, 200-300 extra AP.
yeah, sure,
I can
yeah,
always cut this out if I need to,
yeah,
but you never say that, or. And it's not like
exactly,
you're not doing it to cheat people, you're doing it to make the experience better.
yeah, and that's
Yeah,
it. No one wants to like go into combat. It's like, well, we killed it.
yeah,
You want it to be like, shit, we almost died, or that was incredible, or
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we've played for 6 months here to get to this guy, and I killed it in 2 seconds.
Exactly. Like
Never fun.
I've seen
Never.
a few things with Matthew Mercer where he's prepped this session, and they just wipe the dude out in like a couple turns, and he's just sitting there just going through his notes. He's like, "Oh, okay, well here we go. We're going on to this now."
Yeah. Or you'll just see him tear the sheet of paper. He's like,
Yeah,
oh, "There's 4 hours worth of work for nothing."
yeah,
Yeah, I seen one where he did like a ancient worm or something like that. There was a tunnel worm or something, and that he created, where and it pops up out of the ground. It's just 2 or 3 rounds, just destroying them.
yeah.
They turn it into a bunny, and then
Good
into a
old,
turtle.
good old polymorph.
Yeah, it's like really,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But and sometimes those can be great moments too.
Oh yeah.
Just to watch your players enjoy just decimating them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's sometimes you gotta not necessarily fudge the numbers,
Right.
because I let the dice do everything.
Yeah.
But sometimes if something's too easy, you want
Mm-hmm.
to just tack on some HP.
Right. And sometimes it's fun just to throw an overwhelming force at them too, just to
Oh
have
yeah,
them think
yeah.
their way out of that scenario.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and sometimes you're just like, all right, you guys are gonna run. If you
Yeah.
don't run, you're gonna die.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's start making the athletics checks right now.
Yeah, like when somebody throws a bag of fireballs at you or something. My poor
Exactly.
guy's just like, bam, 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 bam. There's 5 fireballs coming
Yeah.
at you at once. What do you
That was insane.
do?
By the way, that was like one of the most defining moments. It's like, holy shit, he's gonna kill us right here. Here it comes.
I mean, Misty Step and Fireball are ridiculous.
Yeah, ever since
Like,
that session, we had that conversation. I'm like, that does it. I'm making every single one of my
uh,
spellcasters have Misty Step. That's just
yeah. Well,
otherwise they just get destroyed.
yeah, you learn after a while that you have to have some kind of disengage,
Yeah,
because a lot of times if something you don't want to die right now is going to die, you got to have like a oh shit button.
exactly,
Sometimes those
exactly.
don't work either though,
Right,
because you're not exactly tweaking the game to make them lose. You're just giving your guy a little bit better opportunity to survive against 5 or 6 people.
right. Yeah, but you still have that gravitas of that moment, the
Yeah,
intensity,
yeah,
the pressure.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
that's really important because combat in D&D, if without those elements, can get really really stale really fast.
I
Uh,
swing my sword. I swing my sword.
exactly.
One
Yeah.
of those things. If you beat something with a pile of HP and no real abilities, it's not fun.
Right.
That's
I had an experience like that where I made this like defender style paladin, but he didn't have dark vision. Was like the big thing. There's sconces along the walls, and I kind of pointed that out to my players. I was like, "Can I tell by what race he is?" I was like, "Well, he's obviously a human paladin. Given the temple that you're in and everything, and the general area, the kingdom that you're in right now, the majority of the inhabitants are human.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, let's turn off all the lights. Beat the piss out of him.
Yeah. How about you?
Exactly. But
Yeah.
so how do you go about creating a session? Because there for a while, I mean, that another thing, you were playing a session every week.
Yeah. 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 There was a time we were playing 2 a week in the beginning. Like, I find that it's good not to plan to. Um, get a general idea of where you want things to go
Mm-hmm.
and some things that you want to happen, and then let the player just kind of naturally move where you go. Like our first 3 sessions, they didn't even leave the first town,
Yeah.
and I thought it was just going to be one of those things like, all right, we fixed this, let's go, and they just stayed there. So I had to come up with new content for this tiny little town
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Uh, and a lot of that comes in with just having general ideas of what could happen.
Right.
Like if this happens, something could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to have a good idea about it. A lot of times I didn't even have encounters built until I was like, crap, got to build one.
Yeah.
Give me a few seconds.
Yeah. Everyone go
I
go grab something to drink or grab something to eat real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, or even a lot of times I can make them up while I'm still talking
Yeah.
because I've gotten used to doing it so much that I kind of know what I want to do, what should be in this area, what could happen.
Yeah.
If there's something that would happen over here, or I have about 5 or 6 things that always could happen, and make them as fluid as possible. So if you need to move them around, you can.
Do you ever resort to any like random encounter tables or anything like that? Have you ever used those?
No, I can't say that I have. It's not that they're not good tools, and they probably work for a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
just not for me. I find that I just like I'll get like the main creature that I want in the encounter, and I think, well, what would he bring with him? Who would he have?
Yeah.
And from scouring books for a while, that's a given.
Yeah.
That you learn kind of, all right, well, this would be like, I say CR, but I really don't even go by the CR
I don't either.
because CR is not a good way to actually judge an encounter.
Yeah.
But, that could be, this, by CR, you can tell if it's going to be like a weak creature or at least a strong creature. You don't want to put too many strong creatures or too many weak creatures together.
Yeah. Exactly.
For, one, not fun, and 2, it's too hard, and all the time.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
So I just, tend to stick to a certain kind of, like, I won't pull something just out of my hind end off the wall that I don't know anything about. A good encounter, it can be a pack of thieves and a bandit leader.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it helps to be just kind of aware of your environment that you want to create. And
Yeah.
we wouldn't find a skeleton out in the middle of the woods.
Right.
Just those kind of things.
I've
But-
always kind of related it more to like setting up dominoes and just kind of seeing what
Yeah,
you hit.
hoping what they hit. Yeah, see where they hit, what
Yeah.
falls down after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because eventually though, as a DM, you have to learn to push a little bit.
Yeah. And that
Like,
kind of go ahead.
And I usually do that by lack of content. It's I was like, well, they're like, well, what else can we do? Let's go around here. Nope, nothing there. Go around here. Well, there's nothing there. No. Let's go around here. Well, no, there's something here, but it's for the next town up, 30 miles that way. They need somebody.
Yeah.
That gets your movement going.
They come across like a wanted poster or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something to grab their attention. It's like, oh. Because
Yeah.
in my experience, people are there for the story's one, but they're also either greedy little, bastards, or they're wanting like the next magical thing, or
they just want to get drunk in a pub and sleep with women
exactly,
or men or
Yep.
whatever.
or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, 100%.
Yep. It's different every time.
Yeah.
Your players kind of dictate the kind of game you lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes they get a little weird, but
Exactly.
sometimes it's great, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of fun. But you have to be ready for all of it.
Yeah. Now, do you have like a common source book or anything that you like to pull from, like a particular setting that you like to base your stories and stuff from?
Uh, Man, not really. I don't really use source books all that much. Um, I go for things that make me happy.
Yeah.
Like I like woodsy areas, mountains, and but I want a variety of things that you can go through. So I kind of tend to mix everything together
Yeah.
with possibilities. Sometimes I will use fire planes,
Yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be
stuff like
fun.
that. Yeah, but for the most part, man, it's all just things that I thought movies really do it for
Yeah.
me a lot.
I was gonna say
You know?
drawing a lot of inspiration from like Tolkien or like Game of
Yes.
Thrones, that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah. And even like pirate movies, like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Exactly.
Like I would love to run a pirate game. You
Yeah.
know, a D&D pirate game where you're a pirate, you got your boat, you're going. Like I've tried to steer the game that you guys were like in that last time.
Yeah.
Like I gave you a boat, I was ready to go, I was excited, and you just left it.
Yep.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've been wanting to throw at my characters to lately. Like the more and more I read about the ancient dragon turtle stat block, I'm like,
Dude, oh, it's so cool.
yeah, like they
So
can
cool.
like do
They
steam
can
breath and boil the water around them, lightning shield.
they can
So
track
cool.
you forever.
Yeah. And they have a tendency to like if you're using like the tables and fizz bands, like give it a personality. Like one of them is like they pause for long moments before giving any answers, or they'll hum like sea shanties or something like that. It's
Right.
like, oh man, it's so cool. Such a
Yeah, they
good,
are.
it's an awesome concept, man.
They're really cool.
Yeah, and another part of me too wants to really run a great red worm. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Like there
Oh
was
yeah.
uh, there was something on Instagram I seen, but it's like a creators guild or something. But they created this island like is just like a volcanic island. Lots of obsidian and black ash everywhere. Everything's kind of desolate. But there are these magma storms and lava is just pouring out of the clouds in this
Oh
area.
God.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
like, man, that would be
that'd be
intense.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
I've looked at the actual dragon lair for the red dragons and stuff in fizz bands. I was like, man, that would be really cool to sit down and flesh all that out on the table. But then the other part of me is like, I'm sitting there counting squares, and I'm like, this thing is like 80 by 120 squares. So
Yep.
you would have to have like an 8 by 10 table to even begin to
Yeah.
entertain
Yep.
that.
Well, you figure something that large, though. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah,
going to have to have a huge area to live in.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
And 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 while I would love to run some of the ancient dragons and stuff, it's just you got to get your character to a certain level to
hmm
even think about that.
yeah, yeah. And that's true. I mean,
Unless you want to dumb it down. You know what I'm saying?
right? Yeah,
And then the encounters aren't as fun.
exactly. Yeah.
Like I made a void demon that basically controlled gravity,
Ooh.
and it was too much. I had to actually dial it back. Excuse me, sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
Uh, and I had to dial it back in the middle of the fight, or I thought I was going to kill everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because one of his gravity moves basically just made you a sitting duck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those
But
are always the fun things too. There's like a
yeah,
Gravomancer too in like one of the source books for Wildbound, I think, something like that. Maybe it's a homebrew thing. Maybe I'll have to check my sources. But
well, yeah. Matt does. I'm failing
what?
him right now. He- Dunamancy,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
and Dunamancy is, you know, it takes like gravity and space, and you could do a lot of different things where you affect gravity around it.
yeah. I think that would also
And
make it like an interesting fight to like reverse the gravity in a room. You're
Yeah.
fighting on
Oh
the
yeah.
ceiling, and it
Yep.
only lasts a few turns. And then you got to think of a way to not die on your way back down.
For sure.
Yeah,
I think player actions have been something that I really have enjoyed last
yeah,
couple of games because they kind of finally got to fight some of the not like hard stuff, like, but stuff that I created for them in that
hmm
area that had it could finally get a legendary action in it,
yeah,
and they finally got to introduce legendary actions, because most of the people I'm playing with, this is their first time,
right,
so they don't really have that interaction, and just to watch them be like, what happened?
yeah,
What do you mean?
exactly. And, to my regret, as much as I wanted to use the ancient black dragon, I seen the main stat block. I didn't even look at like the layer actions till like halfway through the fight, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah,
I could
yeah,
have totally used this. Like this would have been like a for sure TPK at that point,
right. Well, and you say that, and I admit, I wrote that void demon. I wrote the layer action,
Yeah.
and I forgot to use them. I wrote
Oh
them.
man.
I wrote them. Forgot to use them,
Yeah.
and it's just,
But
and you're like,
as a DM though, there's a lot you got to keep track of.
yeah, there is, and you make mistakes.
Yeah.
And I think if there was one thing I had to say to like newer people, is don't be afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to say I don't know. Let me find that out. Give me a second,
Yeah.
because it's the only way you learn.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
there are what 100 source books now,
There's a
or
lot.
adventure guides,
Yeah,
source
exactly.
books. You
Not to
know,
mention like third party,
right?
anything
But
like that.
I really enjoy D&D Beyond.
Hmm.
D&D Beyond, I mean, really brought the game to for me as a DM, a lot easier way to put things together
Yeah.
without having to like have a bunch of paper just strung out everywhere.
Yeah. Like the encounter builders and
Yes.
like just instant access. The search bar. Even is like, oh well, let's see what this. Okay, let's search this up. Let's
Yeah.
throw a few of these in here in this encounter. It'll tell you
Yep.
as to the difficulty for your level of characters and everything. That
Right.
really takes a lot of the legwork out of having to like really. You get to enjoy it more in that sense that
Yes.
you can
Yeah.
provide all this content at just snap of your fingers,
Right.
pretty much. In a few seconds, you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
have an encounter built and have it sitting in front of them. It's like, oh, okay, well, we're here now. Let's do it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Or like you want to give your characters meaningful things.
yeah,
Like, oh, you find a +3 sword.
yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
+3 sword obviously is a great thing to have,
Right.
but it doesn't connect with the player.
Yeah.
Or you find you can make stuff out that's really cool that does nothing extra really, but it has a backstory or it has a piece of lore in it,
Hmm.
or it has something cool about it. It's still just a +1 weapon, but it calls me
Right.
an asshole every third minute.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just D&D Beyond really opens up
Yeah.
a creative journey that you can go through.
And being able to
Every
like homebrew your own weapons and
yes,
monsters and things like that. That's pretty cool. And actually get to see it fleshed out in front of you in a stat block. It's like,
yes,
oh, it's awesome.
yeah. I find the longer I play, the more I enjoy like custom.
Hmm.
You just gotta watch yourself
Yeah, it can get pretty
because
wacky pretty quick.
it can get insane fast.
Yeah, like Jared's character, that was
Yeah,
pretty good.
he did a good job for his first time ever playing,
Hmm.
making his own class.
Hmm.
I mean, it was you know we worked on that quite a bit. I mean, we sat down and fleshed that out,
Yeah,
and it still didn't get to right perfect, but he enjoyed it.
yeah.
And he had a lot of investment in it,
Hmm.
and that helps out a lot.
Oh yeah,
And helps you know your character,
yeah.
because a lot of people just want to play and they'll do the same 3 spells over and over again, or the
Right.
same 3 actions over and over.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
eventually, no matter who you are, that gets boring.
yeah,
You do the same thing all the time, it's boring.
yeah. That's the thing. You want to be able to keep it interesting. Like,
Yep.
for instance, like sentient weapons you were talking about there briefly, like that
Yeah.
adds another layer on top of any kind of encounter, whether that's social or combat
Those
or
those are
whatever.
so fun. Those are
Yeah,
so fun.
yeah, absolutely.
And it's just fun fucking with your people sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like uh, my character in Wave, she just lets me take this artifact. She's like, she still hates you, by the way. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. See, what would it be if you didn't have you know, a,
Exactly.
a fucking legendary weapon telling you that you're dipshit every 2 seconds?
Exactly.
And how,
Yeah.
it has to think if it actually wants to let you touch it or not.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of like there's in there an artifact or something in the Dritz series where you have to be wearing this glove, or you have to acquire the glove before you can even touch this weapon, or else it just kills you outright.
Right, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things out there that are
Oh yeah.
oh man,
I'll,
it's fun. And you never know, you just pick up a sword and hold it for a few minutes.
yeah.
And whatever you don't know what you just picked up if you haven't checked it out.
Yeah.
I find sometimes that's great. I mean, it's great to do. It's fun. But once your people can figure out identify, you are never going to think like that over again.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because they're like, oh, we see magic stuff. Identify.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Exactly. We're going to identify this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But have you ever been in a scenario where someone had just created this crazy character and you're like, I don't know about what's your
I'm fine.
intention? Yeah.
Yeah. That's usually why I do session zeros,
hmm Like
so I can get an idea of what's coming at me.
like Eric Cochra
And yeah,
or
yeah,
Eric Kokra or however you pronounce it. 60-foot flying speed. And don't have to
right,
land or like using a different action to use a weapon or anything.
right,
It's
yeah,
like, I'm just going to rain hellfire from above. This is fine, right? Sure.
yep. And I find that as your DM, as you're the DM, you have to figure out ways around stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you gotta, yeah, it's cool. You let them do it for a while. It's like, up here, and I'm blasted and shit. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this guy cast, or has a dispel field around him, or a non-magical field, or
Yeah.
you get in this area, you try it.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's some of the
Or
funnest things to try to figure out. It's like it appears to have done no damage. What do you
yep,
mean?
yeah, yeah. Were you there for the one that I created for Jared, that basically library, and in the end of it was this elder
No.
wraith
No, I
that
wasn't.
yeah, that was a great one
That was the
because
one taking over the lair, right? That he took
yep,
over for like his alchemist lab or whatever.
yep, yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, he was so frustrated. He ended up throwing a torch to do damage. Oh, one down.
One down. Oh man, it's
Yeah.
like drinking a permanent marker. Oh
Yeah,
god.
yeah. You ever wanted to taste paint?
Exactly. Turpentine.
Yeah, a little paint thinner actually probably closing.
Ooh. It's like hand sanitizer for your insides. Ugh.
Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, I can't catch COVID after that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah,
But go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
always enjoy just throwing that. Like when they don't expect it, they're like, "Oh, this is going to work forever."
Yeah.
Aha! I've got a 23 AC. Ah,
Yeah,
all right,
exactly.
all right. Well, a big rock falls, make a deck save. Oops, you're in plate armor. You got disadvantage deck save.
Yeah, exactly. That's some of the things that I need to get better on personally, because whenever you're looking at a stat block, for instance, for one of your characters, it's like they're just thinking just as much as you are about how they can counter the next move. And I'm not
Yep.
real good about using like environmental hazards or like some of the disadvantages to either carrying a weapon or wearing a particular piece of armor or even like what a person's actual ability scores are or what
Yeah.
they're proficient in. it's hard, especially whenever you got a group of 10 people sitting around you to kind of keep everything. It's like,
Oh,
hold on, let me look at your stat block here.
yeah. I usually don't even run a game with more than 5 or 6.
Yeah,
Not that I don't want to. Just at that point, you get so deficient that it's just hard to do anything.
yeah,
Hard to remember anything.
yeah. And looking back, like I would eventually like to wrap up that campaign because a smaller groups feels more personable and manageable
Yeah,
in that group because you got
it's
like one or two people that role play or whatever, and then you got the rest
right.
of the group sitting there looking on their phone or whatever. You want to be able to entice everybody into that idea.
Everyone, yeah, yeah. You got to have enough space for everyone to feel
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Like, and once you get to 7, 8, 9, 12,
yeah,
it's like, oh man,
yeah.
we've been at this fucking shopping mart for 2 fucking days.
Exactly. Just buy your shit. Let's go.
Yeah. They're like, all right, what do you want? All right, it's there. Do you want to buy it or not?
Yeah, exactly. Um, so is there any particular way that you handle commerce or economy or anything? Like if say one of your characters is like, well, you go to a magic shop and they ask, well, do they have this or this spell or this scroll or whatever? Do you tend to pretend, or do you tend to try to accommodate that unless it's like something incredibly ridiculous, or do you just fine, however
I
you want to use it?
I actually use a system that I kind of made up. Um, it's a probability system.
Okay.
Like whenever you ask for something, I'll set a probability in my mind of what that can happen,
Oh, I like
and then
this.
I'll let you roll percentile dice.
Okay.
You get under that percentile, it's there.
I like that idea.
And then if you don't, not.
Okay.
But if you get close, they may know somebody.
Okay.
It's worked pretty well for me so far.
Yeah.
Um, except for when Trevor rolls, because they make me roll like an 8 on everything. The percentile dice,
He's
really low scores.
he's got some weighted dice.
I think he might actually. Either that or he rolls 4 or 5 times before I look. I don't know, but he's hit a lot more than I would have assumed he would.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I'll do something like I'll create a quest around
Mhm.
that particular item.
Yeah.
Like, let's say they want like mithril armor.
Mhm.
It's like, well, yeah, you found a guy that could make it, but you've got to go get the stuff for it.
Right.
And you got to go here to get this and here to get that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're a part of the part of some of that with the black dragon.
Yeah. Exactly.
The, seeing the one
Mm-hmm.
that I can't remember what I called that. It was like Eternity Dragon, Infinity Dragon. I don't know. It was a Shadow Dragon base.
Yeah.
But I changed it.
Cool. That's a CR what? CR 40? That what
Yeah,
that is?
right.
Oh my god. We're talking like
Yes.
world-ending dragon.
Yeah. And then what I did for that to make it for level 7 people was I made it an infant,
Mm-hmm.
but the size of a normal adult dragon.
Yeah.
So it was basically a young dragon that had powers it didn't really understand, but it's huge.
Yeah. Well, see,
It's got a huge HP pool.
that makes for an
And
interesting story too.
yeah. I mean, it's like the bumbling idiot dragon.
Right.
He's only like 1,000 years old instead of 6,000.
Exactly.
Whatever.
No, I did that with a beholder.
Yeah.
Like there's supposed to be this always planning intricate thing, and I called the session whenever I posted it. I said this one is the imbecile with many eyes. And if you know about beholders, like whenever a beholder has a dream and they dream about another beholder, that's the other beholder comes into existence. Well, this guy, quote unquote, Marbles, did not know what he was. He just thought that he was another adventurer.
Right.
And
yeah.
like he had like the rays and stuff, but he had no idea what they were, and he ended up joining the party and on like a few things. And I just made him this terrific idiot, and like the whole group, like they really enjoyed that. until Marbles is going to have a dream one day.
Oh Lord,
You know.
there's gonna come a day where he's gonna summon something that
Exactly.
it just ain't quite wanting to happen.
Right.
And that's always fun. That that probability of insanity is always fun.
Yes. Or madness tables. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah,
Yeah. I can't wait to
yeah. And
start using that.
the madness tables, I like some of them, like
Hmm.
some of the aspects of it, but in the end, I usually just, I don't know, I kind of more like guide to it,
Yeah.
instead of like, no, you wrote for this. It's like, oh, well, this happened. Well, you would feel this way,
Yeah.
and this is what would probably happen
Right.
now, and then I can roll a dice or two for myself to see if something like that would happen.
Hmm. Yeah. And it kind of, again, building on those layers,
Yep.
to add a little more.
And it's always wonderful as a DM just to roll dice.
It is.
Sometimes I roll dice just to fuck with people.
Yeah.
I have nothing going on at all. You just hear me back there rolling like 14 dice.
It's like, what are you doing?
And you're like, what the hell's going to happen? Don't worry about it. And I've got nothing at all planned. It's just me fucking with people.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
really, really starts getting people's gears turning too. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
not sure. Maybe I
Man, well,
shouldn't reach for that. I don't
yeah,
know.
I was going to go over here, but fuck, he started rolling dice when I said that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great, man. So I gotta ask too. What do you do as far as like note taking and stuff? Are you like a traditional pen and paper sort of guy, or do you just have like another app pulled up in the background that you're kind of just going through and it's like, well, so and so said this. This is this person, and they're associated with this, this syndicate.
I think I think I'm actually like really horrible at that.
Really.
Really bad at it. I really should take more notes because 5 or 6 sessions later, I'm like, what the hell was her name?
Well,
Or what do we do? I mean, yeah, and it just if I took better notes, I would have a better idea. But a lot of times I'm shooting from the hip anyway,
hmm.
so like I'll jot one thing down thinking, oh, that's good enough.
Yeah.
And I'll go back later and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
It makes it more organic when you play it like that.
Yeah.
For me, my biggest thing is I'll create a name for an NPC and I'll just make something fucking stupid up on the spot.
Right.
It's like, oh, you
Yep.
remember Assface or whatever it is. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's still over there at the.
He's still an ass face. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's still there.
Well, it's like that town where I made the guards all family. Like they
Yeah.
all had the same last name.
Yeah.
And that was simply because I'd said the same name twice. And they were like, wasn't that other guy named this? I was like, well, you soon find out.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's named that here.
Everyone.
Everyone has that.
Yeah. Oh, I love using guards, man. Especially whenever you
Yeah.
don't want people to like enter a space. It's like, no visitors after night. Piss off. And like whenever
Yeah.
when your characters are like super athletic or super strong, it's like, well, I'm gonna try to break down this, this 20-foot tall gate made out of steel bars. It's like, really? Are you really gonna try that?
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, that's my famous saying. You can definitely try.
Yeah, you can most certainly try.
Yeah. I actually think I want to put that on a T-shirt.
There you go. Yeah, that's what
You
we'll
can
do.
definitely try.
We'll do that for the first merch drop.
There you go, man.
You
For
can
sure.
most certainly try.
Yeah.
_ Jonathan Everman. Yeah.
It's always fun, and a lot of times even if things are possible, I'll be like, well, you can definitely try, just because it gives that doubt,
Yeah.
that little bit of doubt that maybe you just made a bad idea, maybe you made a really good idea, but you'll never know because I'm not going to tell you.
Exactly. It's like we're gonna let the die say it.
Yep.
And even then, it might be.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
It might be a clever but futile idea.
Yeah.
So,
Like similar to the idea of everyone talks about seducing the dragon. It's like, joke's on
Yeah.
you. They're into it, and they're a rough lover. Good luck.
Yeah.
Need you to make a
Yeah.
Constitution saving throw.
Well, it was a male dragon, and he's got like a 24-inch just wanger coming at you, and he's ready to go. What do you do?
Yeah.
He leans.
Run.
Yeah, exactly. You just, basically turn the dragon on. What are you going to do?
Yep.
No.
It's like you thought they were bad whenever they're angry.
Yeah, wait till you see them horny.
Yeah.
And I find with stuff like that, it keeps people from doing it too much.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
your bards are always like, well, I'll seduce them, I'll seduce them. I do it all the time. Until something really fucking bad happens.
Yeah. I remember that night distinctly with Steven. Oh my God! You having to roll those dice and narrate that story, I'm like, oh my God!
Awful.
It's 45 minutes of my life I'll never get back.
I know, and you should try having to say it out loud.
And
I felt dirty after that.
That moment right there during those things, sorry, my phone was going on, is what this game is all about. It is really just absolutely phenomenal.
It goes everywhere, man. I mean,
it does.
From like, chaotic to joyful to depressing to shocking to everything.
Yeah.
And it all depends on how open to the story you are.
Right. And that really I enjoy that because you're so immersed in this moment that you created, and then to have something that you weren't expecting happen, or like a player present you with a scenario that you hadn't really thought much about.
Yeah.
And to watch them try to act that out, it's like, oh, this could be really good, or really bad.
And that's why I always encourage my players to role play.
Yeah.
Really get into this. You are this person.
Yeah.
It makes it so much better than, well, my guy's got this spell.
Right.
What does it do?
Yeah.
What? Explain it to me.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of times I'll say, all right, well, how do you want that to happen?
Yeah.
What do you do with this particular spell that, does something that you want to happen?
Yeah.
I want you to explain to me, feel the, and that's why I do a lot of embellishment over things that are small.
Well, yeah. I think it's important, even into like like turning a key and opening a door. Like you're phenomenal at like your descriptive, your the range that you have for like coming up with words and phrases on the spot. I'm just sitting there I'm taking all this in. I'm taking mental notes. It's like, how did he do that? How did he lead up to that? It's like, is he sitting there with like another screen pulled up? No, that's all you.
Yeah, I have a vivid imagination.
That's good. It's a really good thing to have.
It is when you're playing D&D. It's not when you're trying to go to bed. I always say, I'm like ADHD, ADD. Like, my brain goes 1,000 different ways at one time. And that's something that helps me with D&D is getting into that story and being able to process, 1,000 things at once.
Yeah.
It's kind of like my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Because my brain's doing that a lot.
Yeah.
And, I can just kind of filter that out. And, some of my best nights of sleep are after a really taxing D&D session.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where your players are like trying to go everywhere at once and do everything at once. And,
the mental gymnastics that goes into being a DM is like, should be like a Harvard, college course. It's like, this is how you keep people from doing stupid shit, but if they do stupid shit, this is how you counteract that stupid shit.
And sometimes you're going to fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to do something stupid, and you're going to regret that the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's usually in those moments, too, that there's, they get this really extravagant moment, Occasionally, not every time. Not all fuck ups turn out to be great. Some fuck ups are like
when you accidentally kill the linchpin that kept the level 7 chaos demon.
Yeah, dude.
From transporting to this earth.
And that happened to me. Like, I made a mistake one time. Like, I had like this little goblin campaign going on, and they're in this brothel, and they're looking for this guy that liked to frequent this brothel, and they find out who he likes to go see, and they wait for him, and they follow him upstairs, and they see what room he's in. He's like, "Well, I'm gonna try to open the door." He's like, "What do I see?" I said, "Well, you tell me what he sees." I've messed up.
Yep, that was
I messed up. It's like, oh, he might be a badass, that guy in there, but is that person, do they have a common or stat block? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see where that went. It's like,
Yeah.
They're having to fight the difficulty of getting that person away from them in order to start making moves. By that time, they've already came in there and tried grapple checks and all that.
Yep.
But it did lead to some good moments in that
does.
particular situation. However,
Yep.
looking back, I could have
Easily avoided it.
easily avoided it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Do you have like any sort of defining moments when you're like, did not plan for that, didn't want it to go that way, but here we are?
Man, like I was telling you, the whole linchpin with the demon thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I tried my damnedest. I mean, you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
For that one. Yeah, I tried my damnedest to get my character away, and I got him away.
Yeah.
And then I let the dice do a little bit too much talking for me.
Yeah.
And something that could have never fucking happened in all this world, I gave a small opportunity to happen.
Yeah.
Happened.
That was the drop of Vinny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drop of Vinny. It wasn't the drop of Vinny that caused the problem. It was whenever they were downstairs and my guy was upstairs and you guys ran like 200 yards. When it was virtually impossible for you to run those 200 yards to catch the guy at the door.
Yeah.
But, I said, I mean, there might be a small possibility that this would line up and that would happen. I need to see a natural 20,
Yeah.
And boom, fucking happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was one of my most recent ones. I mean, there have been several. Like, whoa, that was really cool. Like, I used to play this other game called Rifts.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I haven't.
It's a smaller RPG game. It's based in like post-apocalyptic Earth. There are other areas that you can go to, engines, and my buddy is a really good DM too.
Mm-hmm.
For that particular game, he plays strictly that one. Has like every book ever made, and that's saying something because they were only in print for it's Palladium books. They printed a lot of them, but some of them you couldn't get because there just wasn't that many prints of them.
Okay.
But he has them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But and it also has vampires. Vampires are part of that world, a huge part of that world actually. And you have people who are robotic. You have robotic armors, things like that. But we were two lower level vampires that we had played. And we got into this fight with he liked Dracula and Queen of the Damned and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
A lot of Anne stuff, things like that. So he brought in like the Queen of the Damned and Louis, and, and basically he was wanting us to start talking to them and interacting with them. Well, me and my other friend were kind of a jackass when we play. So usually if I can be an asshole, I'm being an asshole just because it's fun.
Right.
So the Queen of the Damned said something to me like, I was like a low, peasant or whatever. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Fill your hands, bitch. So we ran it. And we just were rolling natural 20 after natural 20.
Wow.
Like the things that wouldn't fucking never happen.
Yeah.
We ended up feeding, in that game, if you feed off another vampire, you drain its powers into you.
Okay.
So we ended up feeding off Louis and the Queen of the Damned, the
shit.
strongest vampires that ever existed ever.
Yeah.
And he built them up to be these the pillars of the story.
Yeah.
And here we are,
Just-
fucking them up, just like grabbing all this fucking power, like level 2. You know.
Hey, still.
So like after that, we end up being like vampiric demigods or something.
Yeah.
You know, we just like wish somebody out of existence and well they're gone.
Dude, that's awesome.
And
I'm
it's
gonna
just
check that out.
Yeah, Rifts is awesome. It's guidelines. It's what's why I've always played RPGs as guidelines.
Yeah.
I don't because we did have one player who was one of those. But the book says on this page and that
Right.
you can't do that.
Man, I tell you, there's been something that I've been contemplating here lately. I'm a huge Gundam fan, and I would
Right.
love for there to be like a D&D or similar game esque like that.
You should definitely check out Rifts then because it's exactly what it is.
What?
Yep.
Oh man. I'll
Yeah,
have to
you got
check
like
that out.
there's stuff called like glitter boy armor.
Really?
Glitter boys are like basically like the automaton like
Yeah.
armor that a guy rides in and got
Oh, that's
missiles
cool.
and guns. Fucking this huge fucking armor system.
Yeah.
There's something in it called MDC. MDC is like called mega damage. Basically you have your people who have just normal skin, but they put on mega damage armor.
Okay.
And it's kind of like Halo-esque.
Yeah. Master Chief.
Yeah, Master Chief kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a really fun game, and it's completely different than D&D.
Yeah. I'll have to check that
but
out then.
It is a huge world that you can build through. And their source books are very interesting. Like, you have like CCP Russia, and it's wild how the apocalypse has brought on all these change.
Yeah.
And brought magic to the world. You can still play like wizards and sorcerers and psionic people, and but you could also just play a fucking dude with a big fucking gun.
And sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah. You could run into a dragon, or
Yeah.
you could run into a fucking flying, Star Wars ship or something.
Wow.
It's just like it's a really open game.
Yeah.
That's besides D&D. I played Rifts similar amount of time, about 20 years.
Dude, that's awesome. I'll have to check that out, man.
It's a really cool game.
Yeah. I'll have to make a trip to Time Warp and be like, look, I'm looking for this. I need Rift.
You can find all the PDFs online.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I may do that then.
Yeah, just if you're just looking to check it out, you can buy like the source book on eBay for like $10, $8.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been looking to expand my library up here. I would really at some point would like just books
all around.
this room up here.
It's completely.
Yeah. I don't have enough space for all the stuff that I want to build and to create or to film or, to...
Oh, yeah, man. It's one of those things that just, there's so much
to
do, and I don't know, I never seem to find time to do anything.
Same. After this semester, I'm not finishing. I'm not going back to school for sake of my sanity. I'm just going to focus on some certifications and things like that. Like it's just if I have to do another discussion board, I can't.
Yes.
I just can't do it, man.
Yep, and that's another failing in my life is I never finished anything.
Well,
Like that, like I went to school for computer programming.
Mm-hmm.
I went to culinary school. I've, went to like bartender classes. I've been and all this stuff, but I never really finished any of it.
Yeah.
Because I guess I'm following the dopamine. I don't know.
Well, dopamine's a pretty important thing to have.
Yeah, right.
Any nootropic, it's like or smoking or bourbon, for instance. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
exactly.
We could have a whole podcast about bourbon.
Bourbon, yeah. I mean, God, bourbon is one of those things that you never know.
Yeah.
That you've tried every one of them.
Exactly.
Which ones you like, and then you get into something that you like, and then
Mm-hmm.
2 years later you don't like them anymore.
Oh yeah.
Your taste buds change.
Yeah.
Or,
That's something I've always wanted to do is to create my own. I would love to have a still and to do the whole thing myself and put it in a barrel and wait a
Yeah.
decade or so and just get it out and be like, okay, let's see.
Yeah, right. Let's see
10,
what
10
happens.
yeah, 10
And
years of
then,
work and it still tastes like ass.
ah,
It's like, what did
ah,
I
ah,
do?
this tastes like it poured through an old shoe. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Yeah. And in that, I guess the see what happens is really like a D&D basis.
Yeah, it
Like,
really is.
I'm going to throw this shit out here and see what happens.
Right. And that's the thing. You might have all the right ingredients, but once it sits there and has time to ferment and do the
Yep.
things that it needs to do, it could come out.
It could come out shit, or it could come out the best thing you've ever done.
Exactly. Yeah, and there's certain formulas that you can follow to kind of mitigate those things, but in the end, it really boils down to the little clackety things that we like, so much.
Yeah, man. I love the dice, man.
Yeah.
It makes my decision making process so much easier.
Yeah, for sure.
It does.
Something else I wanted to run by you. Would you ever if you had the chance to play as a player character, what's a class that you would like to play or in a particular setting? What's something that's always intrigued you that you've wanted to try but never quite had the opportunity to do so?
A good question.
This has been one question that I've asked on this podcast before, and it's like,
Yeah. That's
because
a good question.
you know just as well as I do, once you become a DM, all that stuff, you have access to everything. It's like, well, if I want to play Oathbreaker Paladin, I can just bring him in and I can be that person,
Yeah.
against my...
Because I've probably played every character as DM that goes through the gamut of a possibility. But I think the one that I would enjoy playing in a setting would just be like a vagabond. A guy who really does nothing.
Yeah.
He has no intrinsic value at all. Has no real skill at all.
And just watch them grow throughout.
Yeah, just watch how he interacts with people who are so much stronger than they.
Yeah.
Or maybe someone who relies on their intellect,
Yeah.
Instead of having to be cunning to get out of situations instead of powerful.
Interesting.
Because I think the lack of power can make things interesting as well.
Oh yeah. Part of me wants to make a kobold so bad I can't stand it.
Right. Yeah, that's a little too much for me. Like, 5 hit points, man. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know if you've ever seen the kobold that Matt Mercer did in one of his. Did I ever show you that clip?
No.
Basically, this kobold has lived in this little area for however short lives. I think they
what is it, like 7?
like that. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, it's something ridiculously low.
Yeah.
But these adventurers come by him, and they're trying to help him escape this area, and he comes across 2 giants, and they're trying to run across this field, and he just jumps out and throws something at him, and then they kill him. Almost. It's just one of those things that's yeah, that didn't work out the way he planned.
No. Yeah, kobolds are like the notorious cannon fodder of D&D.
Yep, kobolds,
goblins, mm-hmm.
Bandits. Yeah. I love a good bandit fight.
Yeah, I do too.
Always, because the last couple always have to be please don't kill me, man.
Yeah.
I'm just doing this shit to feed my family.
Yeah. And then they get killed anyway because why the fuck not?
Why not? Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I don't particularly have much of an issue with any of my characters being murder hobos. They just like the ridiculous.
Yep.
If it's something the more ridiculous the scenario that I can present them with, the more they're like, hell yeah, we can get into this. Yeah, let's go do it. Let's do it now.
You see a field of kobolds running at you.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely zero context or anything. It's I just want to be covered in blood. Preferably
Yep,
theirs by the time this is
just
all said and done.
just give me my murder, please.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, I just need this outlet, you know.
Yep. Sometimes that's just what they need.
Yeah, yeah.
Just the DM to provide.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was one time we just got through like a hard fight or a hard session. They were exhausted and just wanting to try to like blow off some steam.
Yeah.
So I made it to where they found like a kobold crossing or a goblin crossing, where like they're like, here's where all the goblins come through. They're just sitting there waiting, just jumping out and cutting off heads. It's, and I gave like where they could make a little bit of gold out of it
Yeah,
at the next town. Bring me 1,000 goblin ears.
yeah,
I'll pay you a copper for every goblin.
yeah. And
They're
most
like, all
of the
right, I'll
time,
bring 1,000.
exactly. And that's enticing enough for most people. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So what's something in the past that's given you like some real big inspiration for any sort of setting or anything like games or anything on social media, anything like that you kind of like a particular setting in particular or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I played, a lot of games, Ultima Online being one of the bigger ones
Okay,
that I
yeah,
played
yeah,
for years. And so that aspect always kind of, enticed me of the medieval settings.
mm-hmm,
I tend to lean a lot towards,
yeah,
medieval, which fits perfectly with D&D anyway.
yeah.
But every now and then, I just wanted to create like a Mad Max scenario. You're in a
Oh, that would
desert
be
full of,
great.
you're in a desert with no water,
Yeah,
and you got to find the water, and those guys over there got some.
yeah,
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 just basic, just survival instinct stuff is fun too.
yeah,
But yeah, I would say everything that I do is based off of something.
yeah. I think it's
I
with
take,
everybody. Like, there's always the running meme. It's like, man, that was such an awesome story. Where'd you come up with that? Plagiarism.
yes, yes. You ever watch Lord of the Rings?
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
guys just live through.
That's why they invented the damn game. Come on.
Yeah, right. Everybody wants to be fucking Gandalf. Let's go.
Want to fight off the Balrog and die, come back a badass. That's what you
Yeah.
want, right? That's why
Right,
we're here.
exactly. Yep.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
I think that everything that I do is I mean I'm a huge fantasy guy.
Same.
I've
Same.
read through like so many different. Uh, One I really like to like incorporate more though would be like the Dark Tower series from Stephen King.
Oh,
You ever read that?
I haven't.
The,
No, but I would. You piqued
it
my interest.
it gets weird around book 5,
Yeah.
like real weird.
Are we talking like Spelljammer weird? Are we talking
Yeah.
like?
Well, I mean, Stephen King wrote himself into the books at
Okay.
his house, but the setting was in like old time Western setting, and it goes into like a city. It's like the worlds are melding together with a couple other different, like, I guess you would say, ethoses. Like they all come together,
Yeah.
and you walk through them. And sometimes you'll be walking through a particular thin area, and just cross over to a different.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be
and
cool.
it's something you definitely you have to pay very close attention to the whole way through.
Yeah.
That's a quiet read. You
Yeah.
have to have complete quiet when you read that book,
Yeah.
because you could miss one thing and be like, what the fuck just
Right.
happened?
There's been a few books that I've went back and read a couple times, and it's like I completely missed that in the first
Yeah,
book. And to go through something like that again, it's almost like breathing new life into it. Just even like
yeah,
the small minor details can bring in a whole new revelation. I think it's like, oh well, that now I know why they do this, or I know why this happened in this way, and now I see why they're so pissed off because this allowed this to happen.
yeah,
I'm going through the
and I hate.
Dragonlance books right now. I'm
Oh
going.
yeah, yeah. That's what you were talking about the other day.
Yeah, dude, I
Yeah,
cannot
I mean,
wait. I cannot wait. It's gonna be so good. I'm a
I'll admit,
sucker for dragons.
Dragonlance is kind of one of those that I kind of missed. I didn't really get into. Um, but there was a book by Terry Brooks called Sword of Shannara, and it's a series, like 3 or 4 books. Then he wrote more after that, but I don't think I ever got to read those. And it was a really, really good storyline.
Yeah.
And it kind of follows that whole, over the river and through the woods kind of thing.
Yeah. A journey.
Yeah, a journey.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I want most of my games to be like, is a journey.
Yeah.
Start off here with maybe no purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time you get somewhere, I want you to feel like you have accomplished
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
Or nothing.
Yeah.
Depending on your goals.
Right.
But it's that keeps your players coming back.
Mm-hmm. That's really good. I've never really quite thought about it that way. Like in the space of like collective storytelling, it is a lot like a journey. You don't want to finish a session in the same place where you started necessarily, unless it deems some like a centralized hub or
Right.
something like that. To re-equip and or to do what you need to do for supplies or anything like that, or if you have like a certain story-based elements based there.
Yep.
But to be able to go out and for your character to experience these things, like you are literally seeing the world through their eyes. Through every
Yep.
person's, like you can sit here and give a vivid descriptive detail of something, but every single person sitting at the table is going to view that differently.
Yep.
And it's
And making it to where everyone enjoys it is a talent in itself.
Yeah.
But it's not one that requires a lot of skill.
Right.
You don't have to be over descriptive.
Right.
You don't have to. Basically, I guess I would say just be yourself. Tell the story that you want to tell. Try not to lead too much. Make people do certain things, and just be willing to fail.
That is
Sums it up.
probably some of the best advice you could give to anyone who's wanting to be a DM.
Yeah. Because DMs are a daily failure with magnanimous, victory.
Mm-hmm.
Because your players enjoyed the failure. They
Yeah.
don't. When you're telling, people who are playing, whether they be new players or old players, they want a story. They don't want, they want to have fun. They want a story. They don't want a perfect thing. More times, the more it's broken, the more fun they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people are always like, "Oh man, I've been playing for 3 years to set up this one encounter, or I've made this thing for 3 months, and it's all just pivotal that this happens."
Mm-hmm.
And then the players get into it and they hate it.
Yeah.
Because it was like they're forced into it by something.
Right. Like railroading.
Yeah, the railroading is. Yeah, it's one of those things you got to watch as a DM.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make sure your players are telling the story with you.
Right. And it feels like you want to make everything, if at the very minimal least of the sense, feel like their choice that they're going to go do this thing.
And in my games, man, excuse me, the players do 85% of the work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I'm prepared to react, but I want to see what they're going to do.
Right. Exactly.
Because, I've made this world. I know what goes on everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wrote it.
Yeah. The reward is to see them interact in there.
Interact with it. And if they don't want to interact with it, then it's, or you have them, designed to go here. It has to happen this way. You don't do this and you do that. It just becomes you telling a story to some people. Might as well wrote a book.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But
yeah.
Because some of the greatest things that ever happened playing D&D was something somebody else thought about.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah. Like it's almost like you're kind of sanctioning the fight, but the outcomes.
Yeah.
is something that you don't even, you don't know, what's going to happen. You don't know what punch or kick is coming after the
Exactly.
next.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess you could say a DM's like a fight promoter.
yeah.
You're like, Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. You can come out and watch all this shit happen. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. It could suck.
Yep.
Now could later, some guy could be on the take and gets punched in the face once, 2 seconds
Right.
in, it's all over.
Exactly. Or it could be like, going to watch Mike Tyson and be like, man, he's just good. Mike Tyson's gonna win. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. And watch him get
Yeah.
knocked the hell out.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that, but people in general enjoy both.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, why would people, if they didn't, why would they keep going to boxing matches?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
or UFC fights or whatever.
Right.
Paying thousands of dollars to sit ringside,
Exactly.
watch a guy get knocked out in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
If that was something that turned you off to that particular item, you'd never do it again.
Right.
But they're lining up every time, man.
Every time. So there's a special formula about it, and I think that can pretty much be said with just about anything in life, really. If someone is passionate enough to be satisfied with, as long as I get to see this moment, then I'm fine. I don't care what leads up to it or anything else. At the end of the day, if this happens or if this happens, then I'm fine with that.
Right.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's D&D is just like, it can be everything or nothing.
Yeah.
It's all how you perceive the journey. I guess the way I would say that.
I think that is a great place to stop, Jonathan. Thank you. Thank you for being here, brother.
Brother, I enjoyed it, man.
I did too. We got to do this again.
Oh, heck yeah, man. I'll be on here every week if you want me to. Huh?
Shoot,
I can ramble on.
We will have to have us like a bourbon special or something where we're fucking face to face, just sitting back. No topic or anything, just shooting the shit.
Yeah.
Fucking do it. And, I would like for us to get together, play us a few sessions, maybe do us a one shot or something. Throw some bullshit together, everyone get together. That'd be great. Love to have you.
Yeah, I want to play a game with you.
Well,
I want you to DM for me.
Son, I'll do it. I'll give you a date, you just say I'll be there.
Yep. Oh, kind of like this tonight, man. It's just one of those things. Whenever you let me know, just give me a little time and I'll work it out, man.
Yeah, sounds great, brother. I'm
always down for some fun, bro.
Oh yeah, same. But I had a really good time doing this. This has been great.
Bro, this has been amazing. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Thank you for being here. And Jonathan, do you got any? You got anything you want to promote? Anything you got in the works? Any games that you're planning or anything like that?
Well, right now, D&D for me, I don't have any games on the horizon. Looks like, until get some players together.
Yeah.
Around here, unfortunately, it's kind of a slim picking for that
yeah,
anymore with the time frame.
Yeah.
But I would say, my job is probably one of the bigger things now. I work for a company called Joker Business Solutions, and we do like websites or SEO or IT for small medium businesses.
Yeah.
And we're trying to grow, countrywide. I mean, if you have anything you're looking for, technology wise, we can pretty much take care of that for you.
Cool. Sounds awesome,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I will throw something together, and we'll do a one shot where we fucking go invade the North Pole and try to beat shit out of Santa Claus or something.
Hey, man, I can be a rebel elf. I don't care.
Let's do it.
All right, man.
All right, brother. I'm gonna stop this recording now. And,
all right, buddy.